Two men, two empires, both surrounded by whispers, money, and power. One's dead, his secrets buried in sealed court files, the other's alive, and although he beat his most serious charges in his recent trial, awaiting sentencing, his world could still unravel fast. This story is of how Jeffrey Epstein and Sean Diddy Combs, two men with wildly different public images, may have lived disturbingly parallel lives. Let's be clear. Epstein ran an elite trafficking network. He had a private island, a black book full of billionaires and politicians, and a private jet nicknamed the Lolita Express. For years, he operated untouched, while authorities and elites looked the other way. Now, let's look at Diddy, the music mogul who built Bad Boy Records into a global brand. He partied with royalty, threw lavish events regularly, and was praised as a self made billionaire. But behind the velvet ropes, multiple lawsuits have now accused him of trafficking, abuse, and worse. Victims allege Diddy's private parties didn't end when the music stopped. According to testimony and interviews, the after parties were where the real darkness began, where young people, some allegedly minors, were brought in, drugged, and passed around like party favors. Sound familiar? Like Epstein's infamous island, some of Diddy's estates, including his Los Angeles mansion, are rumored to have underground tunnels, not for storage, but for secrecy, to move people without being seen, to avoid cameras, to avoid accountability. And then there are the private jets, not just symbols of wealth, but shields of invisibility. Epstein used them to fly in victims and guests far from public eyes. Diddy, too, owns multiple jets, one flight manifest already in the hands of federal investigators. And their social circles overlapped more than you might think as well. Epstein was cozy with politicians, professors, royalty. Diddy with music legends, athletes, fashion moguls, and yes, politicians and royalty too. Now, when QAnon began spreading its wild claims about elite trafficking rings, most dismissed it as far right fiction. But then Epstein was arrested, and suddenly some of the dots started to feel a little too close. Now, QAnon believers are pointing to the Diddy investigation as proof of a larger network, a web of abuse hidden behind money, fame, and status. Now, of course, there's no real proof to back up everything QAnon claims, but here's the thing, something is happening, because it's not just Diddy, and it wasn't just Epstein. It's the pattern: private jets, secret tunnels, high profile friends, lawsuits, and victims that never make the news. When you control the airspace in the underground, you don't need permission, you just need protection. The real question isn't who knew, but who's made sure we never would. If two men this powerful could hide this much, how many others are still in the dark? Look for more coverage on the story as more details emerge.